Good evening. This is your news update from the Netherlands for Friday, October 3, 2025. Coming up, a major court ruling on military exports, political developments ahead of looming elections, protests and social tensions, and headlines in sports and diplomacy. International and legal arms export. The Dutch Supreme Court has ordered the government to re-evaluate its suspended license for exporting F-35 fighter jet parts to Israel, citing concerns the components might contribute to violations of international humanitarian law. While the appeals court's outright ban from February 2024 is overturned, the suspension remains in effect during the 6-week review window. Foreign Minister David Van Wiel welcomed the judgment, but warned that given the current situation in Gaza, a resumption of exports is unlikely. Domestic politics and elections. With the general election scheduled for October 29th, Dutch Parliament has formally gone on a 4-week campaign recess, suspending regular debates and votes. In the final sitting before recess, MPs pushed more than 50 motions on issues ranging from tax reform and digital policy to foreign interference. Meanwhile, Rob Jetten, leader of the D66 party, criticized what he calls 15 years of stagnation in Dutch politics. He pointed to gridlock on housing, nitrogen regulation, immigration, and education as evidence that the polder model of consensus decision-making has stalled. Prime Minister Dick Schoof is pushing for swift adoption of the EU's 19th sanctions package against Russia, even suggesting it may have to proceed without unanimous approval if Hungary continues to block it. Protest, immigration, and social tensions. An anti-migration protest in The Hague last month escalated into violence, leaving police officers and journalists injured and causing roughly $90,000 in damage. The protest was organized under the name Els Rechts and involved vandalism, road blockades, and clashes with law enforcement. The caretaker government is currently developing controversial drafting measures to raise the residency requirement for Dutch citizenship to 10 years. In Amsterdam, a Meet Your Deputy Mayor event for internationals highlighted tensions around integration and representation. Some participants argued the language of integration is outdated in a truly open society, while local officials pledged that all voices deserve a home in the civic conversation. Diplomacy, climate, and heritage. India's Tata Steel has signed a preliminary deal with the Dutch government to decarbonize its IJmuiden steel operations, with up to $2 billion in support from the state and EU funds in play. In an act of historical redress, the Netherlands has agreed to return over 28,000 fossils from the Dubois collection, including the famed Java man's skull fragment, to Indonesia. The move is part of a broader effort to repatriate colonial-era artifacts. Sports and culture. In football, Max Meerdink of AZ Alkmaar received his first call-up to the Netherlands national team for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. In cycling, Dutch hopes were high but unfulfilled. Demi Vollering placed 7th at the World Championships, while teammate Ria-Jan Marcus finished 5th. Though off the podium, the team's performance was praised for cohesion and grit. That's your roundup of today's key developments in the Netherlands. Stay tuned as the country heads deeper into its election season, and as foreign, social, and domestic pressures continue to converge on Dutch policy and society. Thank you for listening.